Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to 2026 and welcome to the very first Chillporeal of the year. And you know what? I decided, I've encountered this gentleman before. He's been on Friends of Friends of Friends streams and all that. So I want to welcome Extrazero.
Hey,
How you
how's it
doing?
going, everybody? Hey, doing pretty good. It's Friday. I can't complain. Just really just kind of having a relaxed evening here, and was doing some editing before hopping on. So excited to come in and talk some '90s nostalgia. Because if you know me, you know I've built my whole life and online identity really around '80s and '90s nostalgia. I did like the that was one of the best episodes of Beast Wars in there. So.
Yeah, I watched that one a long time ago, and this was before my friend who also got me into anime, got me into Gundam, was showing me Gen 1 Transformers. So I got to see some of the first season, and I watched the of course the legendary 1986 film that made a bunch of Gen Xers cry, seeing a character die for the first time ever. And well, I can't blame him. I mean, a good guy getting killed in a movie. I mean, who would have ever thought? This isn't Yoshiyuki Tomino of Gundam. This is Hasbro's Transformers Western stuff. So
yeah, and believe it or not, they actually were going to kill Duke off in the G.I. Joe movie. And
I forget, Duke is the main character. It's been a long time since I watched G.I. Joe.
Yeah, Duke was the main character in G.I. Joe, and they have him get bit by a snake. And then at the end of the movie, they actually had to dub it over and go, "Hey, everybody, Duke's gonna be okay."
Remember all the G.I. Joe, kids don't do this,
The PS. Yeah,
G.I. Joe.
Yeah, they did those for Transformers as well, but they never aired.
Really?
Yeah, and they reused the footage. So they would reuse the footage of the kids, and there's the one where the kid gets knocked off the boat, and I forget which Joe came in and got him, but they changed it to Sea Spray, and the one with forget who it was, but the power lines on the road, they had that with Bumblebee. So they were going to reuse those, but I guess Sunbow Animation decided not to. But they ended up as supplementary material on one of the DVDs. So they're also floating around on YouTube. So if you want to see the mirror versions of those, they exist.
I'll have to look into those. So before we get further started, I want to say hello to the chats. We got a new member from Magitech Mags. Well, thank you, Mags. Thank you so much. And she gifted 5 Nerporeal Lifeform memberships. I don't have the 5 on here, so thank you. So welcome to the continuum, as I always say. And of course, we have my buddy Dread Roberts here, who crafted the thumbnail. Extrazero. Who the heck names?
Yeah, I know, right?
Channel Extrazero, weirdo. Sorry. We have Suzanne Eckstein 13, and my buddy Jay Bongo, my fellow gamer and fellow game design connoisseur right here. So all right. So I figured, I was trying to think of a good thumbnail for this one. And I thought, what was the biggest thing I was into in the 90s? I love Beast Wars. We'll definitely talk about Beast Wars.
Oh, we got to talk about Beast Wars.
And that was part of the reason why I invited you, because I wanted to talk about Beast Wars, because I tried to get a certain friend who may or may not exist, who may or may not live in Japan, into this. I watched this before I went to Japan, and he's like, "Oh, it's too old." Because he's he's younger, he's a borderline Gen Zer, even though he's not. But yeah, and I was heartbroken when he said that. So and so you were on with him, and I think was it Adam Carl Varney and all that. And I think you were the one that brought up Beast, where I was like, okay, I got to talk to this guy. So
yeah, I've also
that was the scheme, that was the ulterior motive.
My
behind it.
buddy Lethal Lightning, he loves Beast Wars, and we haven't had the opportunity to sit down and talk about it either. I'm always chomping at the bit to talk about it because it's my favorite Transformers series, believe it or not.
I mean, it's mine too. It's the one that I've actually watched, and I think it's the only Transformers show I've watched in its entirety. When it was first on, I honestly thought it was Reboot. I thought I was watching Reboot.
Same animation studio.
Mainframe Entertainment. Reboot was first on ABC Saturday mornings, 1995. So I was like, I was in I think I was in fourth grade at the time. So you had that, and then all of a sudden I see this other show. So they were showing Reboot on weekday mornings, like I think on Thursdays on the same station here in Chicago. It's the independent station that plays
WGN.
Like all the no, not WGN.
No?
It was UPN.
Oh, okay.
Or the channel that. Well, it was UPN in the evening, but it was WPWR, channel 50 here.
The reason I guess WGN is because we actually got it for a long time in Maryland, and that's where I watched Beast Wars and War Planets, which were the other mainframe shows.
That was on channel 9. That was on WGN. No way.
Well, it wasn't channel 9 here. I forget what number it was.
Yeah,
I used to watch those two, and then I was like, like for whatever reason, I watched Bozo the Clown. Because
I remember both. I remember that. I'm Brozo the Clown. I used to always look forward. I think they always saved it for the end of the show, the grand prize game.
Yeah,
I was always rooting for the kids. They'd come up to the line. There'd be 6 buckets, and they'd have to toss this ping pong ball into the buckets. And
they had that game at Chuck E. Cheese with Bozo on it.
Yeah, yep. I think I played it. I think I got to bucket number 3, and then I tried bucket number 4, and I lost. And I'll never forget that failure.
With Chuck E. Cheese, you could cheat. that was the thing everybody did.
So that is exactly what you said. It was too old for you, AC. So yeah, you can't fool me. What else we got? We got Black Pill Timon. And I got all the DVDs. Okay, I finally got season 1. I just bought season 1 a few months ago, maybe because of hearing your stream and plus watching it again. It was on. I think only a couple of the episodes were on Tubi, believe it or not, last spring. It was the one I was like, holy crap! I forgot how awesome this was. It was the one with the flying floating island. Remember that one? And
where Pterosaur gets the energon that actually is stable. It makes him overpowered.
No, I don't know. The one where Black Arachnia takes over the island, and they're trying to destroy. It's a 2-parter. And it's like I think they used the concept. At least, maybe they didn't use the concept, but it reminded me of the Castle in the Sky, basically, because that's also floating island. And if you fuck around, you're gonna find out, because there's weapons on there that will kill you if you fuck around with the environment. So, and I think this episode was the same thing, except Black Arachnia figure out how to harness the power of the thing. So they had to take out the island. So the island crashes onto the planet. I liked that show because it was almost, to me, felt like playing a video game. It felt like you're not only did it feel like you're playing a video game, because I mean I was getting into the Donkey Kong Country games at the same time, so that same type of look. But I like the fact that there was all the stasis pods in orbit. So so you were wondering, like, when's the next character coming? When's the next character? When's the next toy line or next character, a toy, going to come down, and you're going to see what their stuff is, and who will get to him first? Will the Predacons get to him first? Will the Maximals get to him first?
That show introduced. There's a lot of people that you'll find that actually within the Transformers fandom that don't like Beast Wars, which is crazy. They don't like the concept. And it's a relatively new thing, because I've been on the message boards since I first got on the Transformers message boards in like late 97, early 98. And unanimously, everybody liked Beast Wars. And then the divide kind of happened around the time the Michael Bay movies came up. But it wasn't the Michael Bay people. It was like the later G1 fans that came in that decided to poo-poo Beast Wars. But so much of the modern lore that's adopted into all the new lore sparks, protoforms, stasis, how the matrix of leadership actually functions, the all spark, all that came from Beast Wars.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Now Energon, I think, came from the original, right?
Yeah, Energon was just the power source that like was the main reason for the conflict, the main reason for the journey to Earth.
That's how so like in the first show, I remember Energon was like this purple liquid that was like put into these like cubes.
The cubes, yeah.
Cubes, and then they would drink them. There was a, I'll never forget, there was a Transformers episode, I think it was season 1, where where all the Decepticons, I think it was it was the Decepticons, they all got drunk off of it.
Yeah. that was a thing that happened. There's a Japanese episode where Wheelie gets really drunk on it. So.
Yeah. So you had that there were a couple, there were a few episodes, there was only a few episodes of the first series that I remember. Obviously I remember the first episode, which was, they're fighting on Cybertron. They get on their ships, the Ark and the Nemesis, I believe, and they're fighting, and then all of a sudden they crash onto prehistoric Earth. And then they wake up like 65 or
when not 100 million
years,
are ups,
like 70 million years later or something like that, or okay, maybe not
6 million.
Much. Okay, 6 million. All right, because the dinosaurs were gone at that point.
Yeah.
So, but then Beast Wars, I think, was like Beast Wars takes. What I liked about it was, and I didn't realize this until I started watching first Gen 1 a little bit, was that Beast Wars is in the same continuity. At least I think it is, right?
It is, and it was a slow reveal because the first season of Beast Wars is actually 26 episodes, and then seasons 2 and 3 are only 13. So there's like a slow burn in that first season, and seasons 2 and 3 actually do look better. They had a higher budget for VFX.
Well, and of course he got introduced to Transmetal. Ooh.
Yeah, the Transmetals and the Fusors, and they really went in on the G1 lore there.
The one thing that I kind of was disappointed with was that they had to pick and choose like who was going to die, because you're like, okay, what exactly are the rules for Transformers 9? Because it seemed like they're like some of them are like Wile E. Coyote, and they fall and they survive all these impossible things, and they always come back, but then I think in the later especially seasons 2 and 3, that kind of things got a little bit more serious. But like all of a sudden, like the beginning of season 2, they killed off Pterosaur and they killed off Scorponok.
Yeah,
at first I wasn't paying attention. I was like, where are they? And then I had to go back and rewind it. Once I finally got the DVDs, I actually rewinded. I'm like, what happened to them? And
they got gypped because they were getting transmetalized, and you actually see them going through the process as the quantum surge hits. And Pterosaur got a toy as a transmetal, and I was like, well, he's got to come back, right?
Yeah. And then what happens? Like they fall and they're in their beast forms and they just fall in the lava, basically.
Yeah, as the quantum surge happens and they're getting transmetalized, they fall in that smelting pit that was the dark side.
And you see the hand. You see the hand going into
Terminator 2 style. They're going.
I was like, I guess Transformers can't, or I guess the Maximals or Predacons can't survive falling into lava.
Yeah, the one that like never gets explained, but it's implied, is Waspinator, because Waspinator suffers a lot of abuse in the series.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a running joke.
Waspinator just doesn't like. Waspinator just never gets a break. Sorry, I can't do my Scott McNeil.
I can do an okay Waspinator. I gotta like come up with a line. Waspinator always but a joke. But Waspinator absorbed Starscream's spark, and that was the possession episode.
Yeah, I remember that. That was a good one. That was actually a good one.
And they build in the lore that they explain Starscream's ghost, because that in G1 that made very little sense. It's like, wait a minute, so they can come back as ghosts, and they built this lore that they did experiments on his spark, and that was how Starscream survived a lot of what he did, but.
So was that supposed to follow up the movie? Because I know in the movie that's when Starscream gets his meets meets his spark meets his maker or something. I don't know how they say it.
Yeah, so Starscream's ghost strikes a bargain with. So Unicron doesn't actually die. His head is floating around Cybertron, and he's striking this deal with Unicron, and Unicron's like promising him a new body. So Starscream possesses, first he tries to possess Octane, and then he possesses Scourge, and he's going around getting these parts to rebuild Unicron, and his plans get thwarted, and he just kind of like gets yeeted out into the depths of space. Yeah. And so then the episode Possession of Beast Wars, Starscream's spark followed the same trajectory that the Predacons and Maximals took, lands on prehistoric Earth, and he just Waspinator's an easy target.
Was that what it was? Okay, did they use? I forget if they didn't use the voice of Starscream, right? It was
no, so Chris Latta was long dead at that point.
Oh yeah, when did he pass away? In the 80s?
I think 93. Because I don't know if you knew this. He was the original voice of Mr. Burns on The Simpsons.
Really?
Yeah.
Even before Harry was it Harry Shearer or is it Hank Azaria?
I think it's Hank Azaria is the voice, but before he took it,
release the hell. Sorry, I haven't watched The Simpsons since like I think 1999. So that's another thing. That's another thing that just stayed in the 90s for me.
It's Harry Shearer's Mr. Burns. I was like, wait a minute,
Harry Shearer.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Harry Shearer. I think he's also Smithers. He's Kent Brockman. He's Ned. I think he's Ned Flanders. Yeah, he's Ned Flanders.
Yeah. Chris Latta died in 94, actually.
Oh, 94. Okay.
Yeah, that was close.
And Beast Wars was 95
96
or 96. Yeah, 96. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was watching that. Beast Wars was on, I think, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday here. The reboot was on Thursday, and then I forget what was on Friday. Some maybe it was Dark Stalkers or Dark Stalkers.
There was a lot of syndicated shows back in those days, and it was just like you kind of had to live. There was no internet, and you had to live and die by flipping channels.
Yep.
Or going to the TV Guide channel and just stalking it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to remember what I watched on weekday mornings. I mean, I would switch between Channel 50, which was UPN, and Channel 26, which was WCIU. Now it's MeTV. I don't know if you get that by you or anything like that.
I don't even know what the over the air channels are anymore, because like since 2021 we've had Sling for our like cable, and so like we don't get any of the over the air channels really.
Yeah.
So it's like we get like Tubi. I think MeTV is a streaming channel. But like I'm at this stage in life where it's like I don't watch much TV anymore, other than like I watch like Food Network, because I'm if you follow me on Twitter or Discord, I'm an amateur pitmaster. So I just like
a pitmaster. What exactly is a pitmaster? Like
so barbecue. Yeah,
barbecue guy. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a big barbecue guy. I have 3 grills, so I'm my own Hank Hill.
So are you a charcoal or gas?
I'm charcoal, gas, and pellet.
Pellet. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in pellet smokers, because I had a wood chip smoker for a while, and charcoal does produce the best taste, but it's a very slow process. It's a super slow process, and it's also hard to regulate the temperature. Gas is fine. It's just gas is gas is gas. It's like if you need to cook something fast, it's there. It's convenient. It's easy.
I've never. I'm a I've grown up with charcoal. I've never really done anything other than charcoal. But I have to kind of work on my form when it comes to charcoal, because I've told people this and I get laughed at because they're like, "Oh, how could you do that? You're ruining the food this way." Because I was talking about my dad how that put charcoal in. And I put lighter fluid and I just light it up.
Never use lighter fluid.
Yeah. See there you go.
You got to get tumbleweeds, and you got to get a chimney starter.
Yeah. My one of my friends does that. I've been meaning to do that. So, but by the way, before we even go on, I need to. So Admiral T for a member for 23 months. Thank you so much for your support. He says, "Stay in Chillporeal." That's you. I have to say that again. That was one of my taglines that I used to say It's like people say stay healthy or stay safe. Well, I say stay corporeal. What does that mean? Just be positive and be nerdy. That's it.
There you go.
And have a good and have and build relationships. So yeah. And he says you never see Starscream and Cobra Commander in the same place. I think it should be looked into. So
Well, except in the comics, you do, but
yeah.
There was also a season 3 episode where they had Cobra Commander show up in the original Transformers as Old Snake, which Snake. I always thought that was funny when Metal Gear Solid 4 came in. I was like, oh, I've seen this before.
War never changes. Colonel, what's going on? Sorry, I'm channeling my David Hayter right now. So, but yeah.
See, I do the Metal Gear impression I do is the character nobody likes.
Which one?
Raiden.
Really? Nobody
likes Raiden? Because it's just all it is. It's a bad Snake impression. He's like, Colonel, this is Raiden.
Oh yeah. I liked Raiden in 4.
Remember when I was Johnny Quest? I liked him in 4, and I liked him in Revengeance, but there are a lot of people that don't like him.
I was so disappointed. Like I've said this before on other streams, but I was disappointed when I learned about Revengeance, because I was looking forward to Metal Gear Rising. Like I was looking forward to,
the bridge gap between
the
2
bridge
and 4.
gap. Yeah, like how he goes from being Raiden in 2 to all of a sudden being the cyborg, being a cyborg, enhanced ninja in 4 and all that. So so
it was supposed to have like a really brutal scene that was supposed to be like the torture scene in 3.
Yeah,
where a character
how Naked Snake loses his
it was going to be like a character like Sundowner was going to have him by the mouth, and he was going to get distracted or something would be said, and he just crushes Raiden's bottom jaw.
Ooh.
And that's like the start of his that's the start of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh man, dang.
Yeah.
That would have been a hell of a thing to see.
Yeah.
I believe, if I remember correctly, they like Kojima just couldn't figure out how to do it proper or the way he wanted to, so he just gave it to Platinum and had who was it? Hideki Kamiya of Resident Evil 2.
I believe it was, yeah.
To do that one, or someone from Platinum did that. So I still have I still have the game. I didn't play. I don't think I played beyond the first boss.
It's
I still have a PS3 copy. So yeah.
I've got it on. I've triple dipped on it. I've got my physical on PS3, and then I have it digitally on Xbox, and then I have it on PC because I just like the game that much. But it does scale up pretty well on modern hardware. It's worth revisiting and playing at a stable 60, and it does look if you have the Xbox option and just want to play it on a TV, it looks great there. You can still buy it. It hasn't been delisted. But it's a good game all around. It's a nice little, I guess, epilogue to Metal Gear Solid 4.
Yeah, I did see. I watched my friend play the final boss. Don't you fuck with the senator,
Yeah, that's
I remember that.
It's funny because they removed Kojima from the equation, but you get the most Kojima like thing ever done with Armstrong.
Yeah.
With Nano Machine, son.
Yep. I'm curious, I mean, do you think there is, I mean, I know they remade 3. They remade 3. They released it, right?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, it came out over the summer.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look into that. I've played 3 twice. I played 3 twice. I always played the Subsistence. I had the PS2 Subsistence version, and I bought the I think I think I still have the PS3 compilation of 2, 3, and Peace Walker. I have that. I still have that.
I had the one. I had the original release, and then I sold it, and I got. I think it was either Subsistence that came with it came with all of the original
Metal Gears.
Yeah. Yep.
So apparently I always thought I want to find a way to play the NES Metal Gear Solid. Then I learned that that's not the actual one. The actual one is for the MSX. Was the MSX 01?
Yep.
Yeah,
And the cool thing about Subsistence was that those were the first official translations released for Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2.
interesting.
Mhm.
Because the Metal Gear 2, that the actual Metal Gear 2 is not the same as what
Right.
what they made for the NES one. I forget, what was it called?
Yeah.
Snake's Revenge.
Snake's
Yeah,
Revenge, yeah.
I've
Under
never
Ultra
played those.
Games.
So I got so is the NES Metal Gear, like, does it? I know it starts in like a jungle,
Yep.
as opposed to the actual game where it starts on the base. Like, does it ever get to the base, or is it a totally
It
different
gets to the
game?
base, but it's been years since I like looked at where the differences start and end. Um I know that like Kojima kind of even disowns the NES version,
Yeah,
and he
yeah,
totally disowns Snake's Revenge.
yeah, because they had nothing. He had nothing to do with
Yeah.
it. I loved. I don't know. How'd you feel about? How'd you feel about Metal Gear 2? You had your what was it? So it was Zanzibar Land, if I remember
Yep.
correctly, and we get Gray Fox for the first time, and Big Boss is Sean Connery.
Yeah, basically. Which now they brought in Venom Snake to kind of legitimize a lot of the stuff that happened there, and
So Venom Snake is Big Boss in the first game,
yeah,
and Naked Snake, or Metal Gear Solid 3, is Big Boss in Metal Gear
yeah,
2. So that
that's right.
explains why, like,
Yeah,
in the first, well, because in the first game, how do you beat Big Boss? You shoot rocket launchers at him and you blow
yeah.
his ass up. So how does he survive? Well, I'm actually really surprised that Kojima would actually come up with a twist and Phantom Pain for that.
Yeah. I'm just
I thought that
waiting
was
for
crazy.
Nintendo to come up with a reasonable explanation for how Ridley survived all the all the various Metroid games. Like,
Um,
is it like Rick and Morty, where it's like, okay, look, he's uploaded his consciousness, and every time he dies, we're putting him in a new body.
well, I always assume, like, he falls, like, in the first game, maybe we don't see it, but he falls off of the
With
platform.
Super Metroid, he just blows up.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah,
true. And then he gets cloned for Metroid Other M.
yeah,
But for
he's
some
part of
reason,
the
even though Samus, according to the Ultimate Timeline, has faced him in Metroid, Super Metroid, Prime 1, Prime 3.
yeah.
Well,
She
now
has a
Metroid
panic attack.
Samus Returns. The end of
Yeah,
they added Ridley at the end of Samus Returns. That was tough. That was actually a tough
yeah.
Ridley fight at the end of that game. I was like, I was hearing how hard that ending was. Now I made sure to get 100% on that one, and I played it. And I only died once, so I was like, oh, okay. But I was playing on
Yeah.
normal mode, so I don't have the patience to play on hard mode like some people in the chat may be.
I
You
think
know,
Samus Returns was hard because of the hardware limitation.
mhm.
And I say that because like the other 2D games that Mercury Streams made, if you play those on hardware where it can run the game at like a fluid 60 and you actually have a more comfortable, because like I love the
Yeah.
3DS, but it's a very cramped
Yeah.
control setup. And then it's like such a night and day difference playing Metroid Dread and Metroid Samus Returns, even though
Yeah.
it's like so much is the same. The counter system, the Aether system, it's so much that's like very similar. It's just yeah.
Sorry. Oh, Silex, get away from the stream. Get away. Yeah, that's how 4 ends. Sorry.
Basically, and Silex, I will forever hate Silex for taking my energy tanks and causing me to get a 98% item or 99% item completion because I allowed him to take my item tanks.
In what?
In the end of Corruption. Or I'm sorry, Beyond. He can take your energy tanks, and that'll cost you your overall completion.
Really?
Yeah. Like when he does his like not morph ball mode, he can
Yeah.
actually steal your energy tanks.
Really?
Yeah.
And you can't get them back?
You can get them back, but if you don't get them back, it's just like I didn't know the strategies for beating him. I wanted to do the entire game on my own, no help. And yeah, he is stealing my energy tanks. And I didn't learn until recently that like when he does that whole tentacle thing at the end,
Yeah.
if you lay like one of the morph ball bombs and
Yeah.
then pick it up in psychic mode and throw it at him, you can just stun him. I was like, wait, that would have been
Yeah.
handy to know.
Yeah. I cheated that part.
Yeah.
I
all
cheated
the
that part.
bosses were like fairly
they were good.
straightforward. They're good.
I didn't like the opening Silex where he's got like the arms and you have to free aim it.
Well, yeah, everybody's getting in the way.
That was a pain, and that was a pain in the ass. And then you had to be quick and make sure no one died, because if anyone died, then you got game over. So I got speaking of our unsung heroes that got left behind at the end of 4. Do you think they're going to come back?
Probably, but like honestly, I was actually talking to some friends about this recently. Actually, I was talking to my wife about it too. The only character, believe it or not, that I really just didn't like was Nora. Like,
Nora was the
yeah, Nora Armstrong. Like,
you better get back here. I'm like, shut up, woman.
Yeah, like Miles, like when he's first introduced, it's cringy, but like he's no worse than Otakon.
No. Yeah.
After that.
Yeah. He wasn't. The only issue I had with him was, and it wasn't even the character. It was like, how the character was used in the game. Like he was basically Navi. He would tell you where to go. And the thing is, he told me there was one time, I think I finished the ice area. I think it was the ice area. It was either it was the fire area. I finished the fire area, and I was running around the desert and the motorcycle, just looking for shrines. Shrines. What's funny is I actually didn't mind the shrines, because
I didn't either.
The shrines, unlike in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, you didn't know what they were going to have.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you didn't know what the ultimate end result would be. The reward would be if you completed it. Like, sometimes you might get a missile expansion, or you might get an upgrade to your flame or your ice or something like that. There was a more of an incentive for me to go explore. So I was doing that, and all of a sudden Miles is like, "Hey, you better check out the mine tower right over there."
Yeah,
and
the interruptions.
Like, I'm like, I didn't need you. This was only a few minutes after I beat
it. And then it'll
like,
take you to the map screen and then blip you over, and it's like, I get it. I know where to go. I'm exploring.
Yeah. So I was gonna. I mean, still. I mean, it was just something. It was just something that just made me, do the Picard face palm. But I got over it, and I kept playing. What did you think of so you get to the mines? So that's like the final area, basically, and this is where you bring everybody with you. Well, except for the sniper guy.
Yeah,
and of course, Miles. I think stays behind.
Yeah.
But what did you think of like all of them? Like, just getting, like, it was like fake out after fake out after fake out. I was just like, I mean, I know that's a Nintendo game and all that, but
I was just like, it's getting a little old there. Like,
I mean, I cared about. I mean, I'll be honest. Like, I didn't hate the characters, even Armstrong. I was at the edge of my seat as as the cutscenes were going on, and they were fighting off all these billions of what were those creatures called again?
They were the Grievers.
The Grievers, yeah,
Grievers,
yeah. Maybe I never played the game. Maybe I'm a fake Metroid fan. I don't know.
It's still
he is right.
Fresh game.
He is right about one thing. I don't play nearly as much games anymore. I just have it's time thing and interest. So I just don't have the patience for a lot of it. I'm actually currently playing Bonanza right now. We'll get to that. I'm feeling a little. I'm not. I'll explain it to you. Maybe you can change my mind. That's the thing. Extrazero here might change my mind. So get me into it. So.
Well, for the mines, like, again, I didn't like the fake outs. I also didn't like how linear that section was.
We said at the same time. We're maybe we're soulmates. No, I'm kidding. We're soulmates. We finish each other's sentences. So, like
Like
that.
at that point of the game, you've got so many. Like there was that one point in the game where you actually can use the grapple on those. They're not. I forget what they were called in like Super, like the things on Zebus that like floated around. They had the similar versions, and then they had those like things that were similar to the Zoomers. And I was like, oh, this will be cool. I'll actually be able to do some exploring with my abilities. And no, you're just kind of guided, and then you can return to the mines to do the end game item hunt. And I think I really liked Prime 4. I know the desert gets like there's just a lot of people that are chomping at the bit
Oh my God.
to shit on the game, and they're just running with the narratives that they get. And it's just like, can we just be objective about it? Like when I first saw the Miles stuff, I was like, well, I'm like Metroid's my favorite franchise. I'll play the games no matter what. I'm that guy where it's like nothing can break me from wanting to play it. And then after I got through the initial Miles stuff, I'm like, oh, just the introduction was but he's fine. Like I couldn't stand. I mean, I liked Duke, but I hated Armstrong. And Armstrong like didn't really annoy the piss out of me until she was like singing at base camp, and I'm like, shut up, just stop. But I liked what they were going for the desert, because a lot of it was like akin to like exploring the surface of Zebus. Like when you get all of your abilities in Super Metroid, and you can suddenly do the speed, do this, the
speed boost.
Yeah, you can do the speed boost and why am I slipping on the spark shine ability? And when you get the screw attack, and you can start going around and like, oh wow, there's stuff up here. I can check this out. When you're going into like the upper portion of the crashed frigate, I looked at a lot of that as like, okay, well, this is just kind of a 3D version of the surface of Zebus. Yes, there's some areas that are barren. Yeah, but I mean, it's also not that
are
big.
You talking about the Metroid Prime crash frigate?
Not the Metroid Prime one. The crash ship in Super Metroid. Yeah, because you can when you have the space jump. Yeah,
the haunted ship
where Fantoon is.
Where Fantoon was such a. Fantoon was annoying as hell. He's shooting all those blue flames like this, like that. You're like, how am I supposed to dodge? I'm getting hit every freaking time. Yeah, and I'm like, oh wait, you're supposed to shoot them. You're supposed to shoot the flames.
So, you just have to go into tank mode. There's only one,
and then he's always like, he's not quite. You have to wait for him to be like physically there, because he's not there. He's ethereally there, and you can't hurt him when he's like that. So you have to wait for him to kind of show up, and then you can hit him.
Yeah, and then when he gets to like the last
that stuff is
just like phasing in.
Yeah, that stuff is the stuff of nightmares. Like that is like pure, like something from Alien. That's pure cosmic horror right there. Very Lovecraftian.
Yeah, I think the thing that I realized, like where Super Metroid needs a quality of life update, is like with the missiles, because if you're not playing with Super Nintendo pad, like hitting select to get to your missile, it's like, oh man.
Yeah,
because I played Zero Mission right before it. I still need to do I replay Super Metroid every year, but this is the first time I've ever played like the games in a sequential order. And it's just like, man, not having a dedicated missile toggle really kind of sucks, especially like if you're gonna play it on like a modern gamepad and you have a little tiny back button or minus button in the case of the Switch, and it's like, yeah, I could really just use a hold button to select missiles or super missiles, because it does make fighting the bosses like a big pain in the dick.
It makes, I mean, you're not wrong there, but it's something that even I to this day, like you said, you were replaying Super Metroid often.
Mm-hmm.
I've replayed Super Metroid often. The game never gets old, and
it never gets old for me.
The controls, I'm like, I'll adapt to them.
Yeah,
I mean, are they perfect? No. But one thing I love to do, and it took me a long time to figure out, was mastering the wall jump in Super
Well,
Metroid.
yeah, and
You don't learn how to do it. You have to like it's something like I was watching my friend do it, and then I had to kind of I had to figure out I finally figure out how to do it. With,
and the trick is never press diagonal. Once you press diagonal, you break it.
Yeah.
And that's
actually, now I think I don't think I maybe that's why. I failed.
Yeah, like you have to be super precise, and you just rock it back and forth. If you press the diagonal input, it completely breaks your wall jump.
So in my case, whenever I play, all right, okay, I'll keep that in mind. So basically, left and up, or up and right, basically.
Mm-hmm. And then also, if you
I play. I don't know how you play. I still play. I play on the D-pad. I don't play.
Yeah, I still play on the D-pad. This time I played through on. I still have my Super Nintendo hooked up, but I played on the Switch in the living room. So my wife actually watched me play the game. She'd never watched me play my favorite game. So
I know. I commented on you. You said, "Hey, I completed it." I'm like, bro.
Yeah.
60. What was it? 70%.
It was 84%. It was 84%. For Fusion, I had like a terrible percentage, but people will probably hate me for this, but like Fusion's just not my favorite Metroid, and it's just I don't hate Fusion, but like it's definitely a game that like 100%ing it is just a thing you do because all the end game items are super bombs and missiles. Yeah. And you don't need either. You don't need the bombs. You definitely don't need the bombs at all because they're ineffective on all the bosses. But like by the time you get to the end game, you have enough missiles for the SAX, and all of the enemies are dropping, are dropping health and missiles, when they have their shootable projectiles. So it's kind of like I got to this point and I'm just playing Zero Mission. I'm like, okay, I'm really ready to replay Dread because I've only played through Dread twice. Like once when it came out, and I played through it again on hard mode. And I'm like, it's been a minute. I really want to because I for whatever reason after Prime 4, my feed just became all Metroid Dread stuff. Mm-hmm. And
yeah, I played Dread once. I liked it. For the most part. I didn't like it as much. I didn't like it as much as Super. Like
Super.
I tried to revisit. I did try to revisit, and I just kind of put it down. Didn't really grab me. It didn't really grab me again. Super always grabs me. I don't know what it is.
You know what I think it is?
The game. I don't know what it is.
It's Dread has the atmosphere, but it doesn't have the music.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And there have been some people on YouTube that have gone through and taken the music of Dread and put it in an SNES sound font, and it actually legitimizes it. And I think that's like one of the biggest challenges with like a lot of arranged music that like games in the 16-bit era got right.
I mean, you're like the beginning of. I mean, okay, I think the beginning of Super Metroid is just. I mean, from the very start, you're pumped. Maybe it's because you're pumped. You have, I mean, the very first thing when you turn on the game, and then you're seeing the lab, and then you see the baby Metroid.
That music starts to swell
by itself, and there's bodies.
Yeah.
There's bodies. So something was going on there. Something was going on. And you're pressing start. You're hearing this really moody music, and this is really Super Metroid where it starts. This where the tone really comes in. The tone of the series really kind of takes shape, and then da 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 da, and it's just like this epic music. Samus recounting the first Metroid and Metroid 2.
Yeah, and she's like it's typing on the screen, and it's on her visor.
Bum 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 bum. It's just so freaking awesome. And then then you get the music as the ship is flying towards the Ceres station.
Yeah.
That was really good. And then you're on the station. There's no music. You're just hearing the sounds of all the equipment. You're like, what happened here? What's going on? Then you pass the bodies. Then all of a sudden, the baby Metroid's in the room, just by itself. And then all of a sudden, Ridley comes out and ambushes you, and then dun 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 dun.
Yeah, you get a boss, and that was unprecedented back then. You didn't get a boss fight at the beginning of the game. You know?
Yeah, you're just like, whoa, what's going on? All right, let's shoot. pew, 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 pew.
Yeah.
And then once you get to 20, if I remember correctly, I think once you get under, was it 30 or 20?
I think it's 20 because you're pretty hurt. And it's funny too how no matter how many times I play that game, I'm like there, I'm like fighting for my life. I'm like, I got. It's like, no, you're not going to beat him.
So like when I start a new game, the last few times, I will try. I think was it 100 times. You have to hit him 100 times for him to drop the baby Metroid, and then he picks it back up and then flies off. That's why I always try. I think that's why I try to do. So and
he's
so
the only
hard.
boss in the game you can't not take damage on.
Yeah, So I'm just like, so I'm trying to figure out like his movements. I'm trying to like he shoots the fire out of his mouth at you. He tries to ram into you. He tries to hit you with the tail.
Does the pogo stick thing?
Pogo stick, yep. And you're just like, I'm just like, oh, okay. There are times where like it's really hard. It's really hard to to avoid him. So like I think that's I always challenge myself to that every time I start.
Plus, you're in a small environment.
Yeah, it's just a single room.
Yeah.
Like unlike later where you have freaking you have the screw attack, so you can you can hop and dodge
and
that
missiles.
way.
You don't have missiles at the beginning.
You don't. That's true too. So, but I just the only issue I have with Ridley is I just run him through like really easily when I get to him and just beat him really quickly. Which one was the one that I had a hard time with? The crayfish one. What was it? What's his? I can't think of his name now.
Is it Dragon?
Dragon, yeah, the one that grabs you.
I always just do the grapple beam trick.
Yeah, you grapple beam. Wait for one of the consoles to
you just shoot him out with missiles
exposed.
Yeah,
you could you could do that too. That's how I beat him. And I did it by accident. What's funny was I did it by accident. I accidentally had select. Once again, wonderful controls. I had select, and I thought I was shooting like missiles or something. I shot the grapple at the current, and it just went, and he was dead. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, what happened?
Yeah, you
like what happened? So, and then all of a sudden, the little baby dragons came following him, and that was it. So it was a little sad, It was a really quick one.
My wife felt bad for Crockemeyer.
Yeah, that one. I was gonna bring him up next. So you have to keep shooting him.
Yeah.
Yep. I like that type of boss where you have to like this. The boss has infinite health.
Yeah.
You have to shoot him off a platform. Basically, you have to shoot him into the acid.
Yeah.
Kind of like Donkey Kong Country 3 with the first boss, the barrel, the big giant barrel. Yeah. You have to throw the cricket into the barrel, and then the barrel goes, and then and you have to knock him off of the platform. Just same thing, except nowhere near.
They did that too. That was like a Super Nintendo thing, I think, because like what was it? The first Koopa Kid in Mario World.
Yeah, Iggy. You have to knock.
Yeah.
You're on the platform. The platform is rolling back and forth. You have to hit him and knock him off the. Knock him into lava. So the question is, do Koopa Kids and Bowser are they like immune to lava? Because you always knock them into lava and they always come back. So
I mean, they never explain it. They also never explain like where Dry Bowser came from.
Yeah, New Super Mario Brothers. You knock Bowser into the lava and then he turns into like Dry Bones Bowser, and then of course Magic Koopa's a thing. So I guess Magic Koopa always revives them. I guess so. Yeah, that's how he gets revived in New Super Mario Brothers. So yeah,
there was that like eerie drawing in like one of the old mangas explaining that like the 1-up mushrooms are just fungus growing off the backs of dead previous life dead Marios.
Trust the fungus. Yeah.
But yeah, that was like an interesting thing that they like to do in the 16-bit days was those bosses where it's like, yeah, you really got to knock them off of a ledge.
Was there one? And I don't think there was one in Zelda. In A Link to the Past. But there was a boss that knocked your ass off a platform, and you had to go to
the big
it was Moldorm. It was the Moldorm in Tower of Hera. That's the third palace in the mountains in the Light World.
Yeah.
So you're on the 6th floor. There's no platform, and then you have this big Moldorm just run around and and then you try to hit him in the head. You hit him in the head, it'll knock you back, and so. You have to hit him in the tail, but hitting him in the tail gets pretty difficult, especially with the last hit. The last hit, he's like, like he's all over. Like, where do I go? Where do I hit him? And so he ends up knocking my ass off of the 6th floor back onto the 4th floor, believe it or not. And then I have to get back up there, and I have to restart the boss fight. And I think my most recent playthrough, I didn't have this problem when I was a kid, because I was probably I was way better gamer back when I was 8 years old than I
had the
now.
time.
That too. I'm replaying it. I'm replaying Link to the Past. I'm like, why can't I beat the Moldorm? Why can't I do this? And so I'm just losing it. And I finally beat him, and I got some. And I was just like, wow.
Yeah, I think like we kind of view it as like, well, we were better gamers when we were younger, but it's really like, well, back when you were younger, you could only afford like 1 or 2 games at a time. It was like
That's
Christmas,
true.
birthday, or whatever.
So November, so Christmas, November and December, those were the months I got new games. Well, and sometimes my folks couldn't afford to buy me games for my birthday. Like, I think the most notable birthday, I get one birthday, I think it was my 11th birthday, my parents bought me Yoshi's Island. And then, a month later, I'm playing the game at night, and my parents like, turn that shit off, because, wah, especially with Baby Mario being annoying. I think they lowered the decibel for like the re-release. I think for didn't they re-release it for Game Boy Advance?
Yeah,
Yoshi's Island. So
Super Mario Land or Super Mario Advance 3, I think.
Yeah. And you know how they marketed it on Super Nintendo? Super Mario World 2. Yeah. I'm like, and I thought I was getting Super Mario World 2.
Yeah.
I'm like, why is Mario look like a baby? And I was like, oh,
it's a prequel.
And then the whole prequel kind of shattered my, what I grew up with. I grew up with the Mario Brothers Super Show. Like the brothers were from Brooklyn. Yeah. So I was like, wait, they're from the Mushroom Kingdom. And then years later, I'm like, oh, Miyamoto never really, they never
canonized.
They never canonized it. They never paid attention to that. So
well, it was like the Sonic cartoon. Like I was like, is this Mobius? And then
Mobius, yeah.
Yeah, I loved the ABC Sonic cartoon, and then when they had the syndicated one,
I got it right there.
It was way better.
Let's say I gave a certain person from Japan who doesn't like old stuff. I gave him. He's like, "You're giving me this?" I'm like, "I think you'll like it, buddy." Because he's a Sonic X. He's a Sonic X guy. I'm like,
okay.
He probably still prefers Sonic X, but I mean, come on, come on, it's awesome.
Yeah, the peak Dr. Robotnik design was in that show.
Yeah, peak. Snively.
Yeah,
Snively, get over here. Like
I can't remember. Was that Charlie Adler doing the voice
of
Robotnik?
No, it was James Cummings.
Okay, so it was Jim Cummings, and then I can't remember. Did they switch it to Charlie Adler for the like more cartoony one that had Scratch and Grounder in it?
No, that was Long John Baldry, the musician.
Okay.
Yeah, he was the one that told Elton John he was gay before he knew he was gay. I know, because Long John Baldry was gay too. Yeah, he was a big musician in the 60s and 70s. So I don't know how they got him to play Robotnik of all things.
Crazy thing is, in Sonic Underground, they got Sean Connery for an episode.
So for what? Wait, really? No, they did not. Sean Connery.
Yeah, like
what is this shit? What's this hedgehog? What the fuck is this shit? I'll fucking take the check. Sorry, I'm trying. I can't do a good Sean Connery without saying the F word. Especially because of sorry, I interrupted your thought.
Yeah, like Sean Connery, Robotnik's Revenge. It's like,
I gotta look this up now. I have to find out for myself. Sean Connery, what was it called?
Sonic Underground.
Sonic Underground.
Unless it's a different Sean Connery.
No, No, it was someone impersonating Sean Connery. Voice
Oh,
Aether, voiced by Maurice LaMarche, impersonate Sean Connery. So kind of like I forget who played Megatron in Beast Wars. He pretty much
well, that was David
imperson
Kay.
David Kay. He pretty
Yeah.
much kind of impersonated. He kind of there was a little bit of a Sean Connery ness to Megatron's voice. So yeah, there was a lot of people impersonating that type of thing. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's
because
interesting.
the Sonic Underground show had like this weird mashup of Ocean Group voice actors. So the Ocean Group did a lot of the old mainframe stuff, and they also did the original dubs of like Dragon Ball Z. So
Interesting.
yeah,
What's funny is I never knew about. Now this came out much later. I was already in high school, and I don't know where this was not on regular TV. Because I remember, Saturday AM was on ABC Saturday
mhm,
mornings, and the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, the more cartoony one,
yeah,
that was
that was
on
syndicated for us.
that was on Channel 50. That was on the
Mm.
same channel that I watched Beast Wars on. I think, yeah. So, but that was before that though. But yeah, so I don't know where Sonic Underground was. I'm guessing that might have been a cable show.
I thought it was syndicated. Like
If it
it
was,
was
I
just
didn't know
such a
about it.
yeah, it was just such a weird show. And then later on they had Sonic X, and that was part of like Fox Kids when they were doing their whole anime block.
Yeah, my friend I think was doing. My friend was working on some of the subtitles
Mm.
when it was first airing in Japan. So so I got to see some of the episodes before they came out here. I never finished that. I never finished Sonic X though. I know it eventually like I know it eventually intersects with Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2.
Mm.
I think Sonic Adventure, maybe not Sonic Adventure 1, but Sonic Adventure 2.
Yeah, I didn't even know that it actually had like it was part of a like shared continuity. I just thought it was its own thing.
I don't know if it's a shared continuity, but I know they adapted, kind of like how, the Sonic movie, Sonic 3 movie
Yeah.
kind of adapted Sonic Adventure 2. Well, I think it was the same thing with Sonic X. I
Hmm.
think. I haven't actually watched those episodes. I found out about them. So, um,
I remember like one of my best friends was upset about like when Fox started getting anime because he's like, "Ah, they're gonna censor the hell out of it. They're gonna butcher it." Because when Fox got like
I could
Fox
tell you
was
a
like
few
the
shows.
worst with censorship because like when they took so Fox got the rights for Beast Machines,
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, Beast
and
Machines. Yeah,
that frustrated the hell out of a lot of people because when they started airing Beast Wars, they actually censored all the punches. So you got like these white flashes anytime somebody got punched. And
really.
nobody really realized that like Fox was like pro censorship with violence because they got so much backlash for the X-Men cartoon that the
Yeah,
Spider-Man cartoon was completely censored where they were
I did not know
Mhm.
that. I did not know they censored. I didn't know they
Yeah,
censored those.
dude,
Because
the
when you brought up anime,
yeah,
there's one particular show that they really censored the crap out of.
Escaflowne.
Escaflowne. Yep,
Yeah,
I got the show.
yeah.
I was watching it. I thought it was. Even thought what they had was
It was
violent,
abridged.
and it was a bridge. Like
Yeah,
they didn't even have the first episode, which was
yeah,
him fighting a dragon on a track field on the track
yeah.
field, just showing up out of nowhere. That was violent, and then the whole thing where Phanelia is being conquered by Zybok was the same thing. It was like I'm saying, holy shit! I did not
Yeah.
see this before.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and I think the last episode they showed before I think they canceled it was the one where Zybok sends a doppelganger.
yeah, because it never got its like they hyped it up so hard and it never really went anywhere on the network. And I remember like
Yeah, so
so my buddy was like, move it to Toonami.
yeah, and I'm guessing that never. I don't think that ever happened, right? That
No,
never
never
went to
happened.
Toonami. That show. I think was more than worthy of being on Toonami. It's like
Yeah.
it's one of my favorites. Like it's a show I've owned since since the DVDs day. And my so the show got canceled. So I meet my buddy who got me into anime and Gundam, and got me to I'll tell you about my history with the Sega and Sonic. I know I've said this before. But same guy, he showed me, he recommended Escaflowne. I was asking him, like, what anime should I watch? Because I was becoming part of a new friend group that I met, my senior year of high school. And for the first time, and part of my inspiration for Chillporeal was just hanging out with friends over coffee late at night and having conversations about stuff that we like, nerdy stuff we like, because I could never really do that with classmates in school. I was always kind of alone in what I liked. So I asked, what was something good? And he said Escaflowne. I'm like, how can I watch Escaflowne? He's like, well, I have it. I'm like, you have everything? You have the entire show? Yeah. I'm like, how long is it? He's like, it's only 26 episodes. I'm like, really? Because I was so used to shows being like never ending. You watch Power Rangers, you watch all these cartoons, they're like never ending. Like they just keep going and going. And then all of a sudden I hear about a 26 episode show. I was like, oh, sign me up. So I watched it. I was like, whoa, this is freaking violent, but this is freaking awesome at the same time. And it was a bootleg. My friend had a bootleg version of it. So the subtitles were not always the best, if you know what I mean. But I was surprised at how it ended. I like, especially not to spoil anything, but like who DeLandau actually is. And this was a little bit ahead of its time.
Yeah. My first exposure came from the Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah, if only I had cable.
I had this one summer where I was house sitting for my aunt. It was I can't remember how old I was, but they're just like, hey, yeah, you can stay the weekend at the house. And I couldn't drive anywhere, so just left me with a bunch of food and left me in the. I had to been like 13, and Sci-Fi Channel was airing this anime block on Saturdays. And I remember the first one I ever watched was Galaxy Express 999.
Yeah.
And then they followed it up with the edited, but it wasn't that bad of an edit of Akira. And that was what really sucked me in. And
I think I heard about that. Yeah.
And then it wasn't long after that, they had that infomercial. I don't know if you remember this one, but it was like a late night TV infomercial. They're like, these cartoons aren't for kids.
This is Sci-Fi Channel.
It wasn't on the Sci-Fi Channel. It was just like a late night infomercial for anime, like an anime. It was kind of like Columbia House, but for anime. And then if you subscribe to it, they give you Ninja Scroll.
Yeah. Let me
see if I can find it real quick. But
this ain't no Mickey Mouse. Is this what?
Yeah, that's what it was. This ain't no Mickey Mouse.
All right, wait. I got it. Let's wait. All right, wait.
You should be able to. You should be able to watch it. It's
I'm gonna share the screen. Give me a second. We'll watch this. Wait.
So you want to talk 90s nostalgia, man? Those commercials back then.
I love them. I still love them. I was watching a few years ago. I was watching Monster Rancher, and they kept the commercial on Hulu, and they actually kept the Fox Kids commercial.
Oh no way!
The end commercial, I thought
it was edited into the episode.
It was edited into the episode, and it actually brought a few nostalgia tears when I heard that. I was like, no way.
When I go to the Transformers conventions and they have the little stickers on some of the old in-box toys, watch it on Fox Kids. I'm like, oh man, the world I grew up in no longer exists.
Yeah, that's all right. Wrong button. I gotta learn how to boomerang this right now. Share screen. There we go. Share screen. All right.
Hopefully StreamYard shares the audio too, because.
We'll find out. We'll find out. All right, let's do this.
No Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, I can hear it.
No Looney Tunes. This is anime. Putting America by storm. Now you can catch the anime fever or turbocharge your current anime video collection with the best of Japanese anime.
There it is, yeah.
But be warned, the best of Japanese anime 2 ain't no kid stuff. It's animation grown up and gone wild.
And this was before Girls Gone Wild.
Yes, it is.
For just $4.95 with subscription.
Wrath of the Ninja.
Call now.
Yeah, that's what it was. Wrath of the Ninja, not Ninja Scroll.
Project Echo versus Battle 1. Absolutely
Call right
free.
now. Absolutely free.
That's right. You'll get 2 fire-powered anime videos for just $4.95. This is a limited time offer of apocalyptic proportions. So call now.
Order your first Best of Japanese Animation 2 video for just $4.95 plus $3.99 shipping and receive your free anime video. Call now 1-800-356-1880.
Oh, it was a Columbia House thing.
Yeah. Oh man, that's awesome. I swear that looks familiar. All right, let's close this.
I also love like the memes floating around now. It's like what it was like waking up at 3 a.m. in the middle of the night in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just,
oh yeah, I saw that too. Wake up and you see like all these like music. Oh, yeah. You see all these music commercials and all that. Like, oh, remember Rod Stewart's latest or who's another one?
Michael Bolton,
the other
Kenny G.
Kenny G. Yeah, there you go. So
yeah, it's like the most accurate thing. I'd like fall asleep after guy Carson Daly had a show that came on after Conan O'Brien, and I would always fall asleep to that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that one. I forget Carson Daly. What was he known for? He did Total Request Live on MTV. That was his big thing.
And watch MTV. But yeah, I saw. So I did see. I saw one of your. I saw a couple. I watched 2 of your videos. I watched the one where a certain person who may or may not exist, who
a man of mystery, an international man of mystery.
He may or may not live in Japan or something. Sent you a McDonald's thing.
Yes,
McDonald's Evangelion thing.
That. Yeah,
tell me.
So, sometime in 2025, I saw this thing, and so you want to talk about 90s nostalgia? I have one of these on my desk here, and my desk is a little bit of a mess. So where is he hiding? He's hiding behind something here. But back in the 90s, they had these things called McChangeables. And they were food item transformers. And yeah, where is my McChangeable? He's normal. Oh, there he is. So yeah, they had these, and they were just little basic transformers that were not Transformers. They were McDonald's own characters. And they turned into food items.
Okay, I think I might have had a few of those.
Most people did, and they did like several waves of them. They did a wave 1, wave 2. They did like a dinosaur version later on in the 90s, and then they did a really lame one that turned into healthy food items, and they weren't really robots. They were just kind of like wacky characters, and they just did not have the charm. But when I saw the Evangelion crossover ones, I was like, oh, these are awesome. How do I get them? And then I find out that you have to live in Japan and you have to enter this lottery.
Yeah.
So our friend, the International Man of Mystery, says, I have really good luck with these lotteries. I can enter it for you. And if I win, I can arrange to get it to you. And I was like, well, shoot, go for it. If it doesn't cost anything to enter, if you won, you have to pay for the item. But I was like, hey, there are slim to no chances of me getting this otherwise. So I said, go for it. And he hits me up one day. He's like, guess what? I won the lottery. Huh. So I don't know how many total of these things that they made, but I will say they are freaking awesome. So, he had arranged to send it via a care package to another friend of ours who was the middleman for it. And I eventually got said package later in the year. And I was surprised that they were life-sized food items. And they're really, really neat. They're really, really awesome. And yeah, there's the McChangeables. And I want to get a full set of these, and they're not that expensive really to get. I just want to get a set that's like not beat to hell, because they were really played with. I mean, most of the people that got these were kids, and
Oh my gosh, this isn't who I think it is it?
No, they're just their own little characters. That's from the dinosaur ones.
Yeah.
But yeah,
he kind of resembles a certain president.
A little bit
with especially with the hair right here. So
I was not a McChangeable.
The best McChangeable.
But if I was, I would have been the best
best ever, Believe me. Sorry.
They never made a McNugget McChangeable
as good as me. Oh, I'm trying. I'm wondering if I had. I don't know if I've had any of these, to be honest. Remember the chicken?
So that was like when they did the reissue.
Yeah.
So this McChangeable that I have is actually one of the reissues. My wife got this for me. I think the second Christmas we were together, she put it in as a stocking stuffer. She's like, I got you something off eBay. Yeah, Japan has done really cool stuff. They did those for Transformers Prime.
Yeah.
They're not really McChangeables. They're just like little food items that have Transformers that pop out of them.
Mm-hmm.
I never did get those, but at the time I didn't have any friends living in Japan. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, he hit me up. He's like, I won the lottery on it. And so when I got it, I was like surprised by how awesome these things were for limited fast food promotional items. And they're not the most articulated figures, but they're made better than 99% of the mainline action figures that come through the US. They're painted, they're well sculpted, they're well put together. They come in a really nice box that presents it as a meal, because you have your burger, you have your Big Mac, your fries, and the drink.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy crap, the presentation on this thing is amazing, and then the figures themselves are amazing. I've got them set up over my barcade. And
you have a barcade?
Yeah, I have a barcade in my basement.
You have how many cabinets?
I have 5 total, but they're all 1-ups. So I'm not that cool.
What do you mean by 1-ups?
The arcade 1-ups.
Arcade 1-up. What do you mean?
Yeah, the technically they're 3 3/4 scale.
Oh, so they're not full. Okay,
they're not full size, but they're all on risers, and they look the part, and they create that nostalgia. When I was a kid, I grew up in a bowling alley. Basically, I mean, I didn't actually live in the bowling alley, but my grandmother.
I was going to ask.
Yeah, my grandmother who raised me managed a bowling alley.
Okay,
and so that was one of the highlights of my childhood, was growing up bowling and then rushing to the arcades. And they had a pretty decent arcade at the bowling alley. And, we had like a revolving amount of arcades. But I mean, I did have my favorites, between my Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Pac-Man. Technically, Pac-Mania was the one that I really loved. I know there's, some hate for Pac-Mania, but that's the isometric 3D one where you have the jump button.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I've never played. I never played Pac-Mania. That's interesting.
I love it, but again, it's got that nostalgia for me. There's a lot of people that hate Pac-Mania, but that's the whole reason I have a Pac-Man cab.
Yeah, the Land's Castle I used to go to, and we actually went to one of my favorite birthday parties I attended. I think I was in 3rd or 4th grade. My friends, my friend had his birthday at Aladdin's Castle, and I played the shit out of the Punisher game. That's how I first heard of the Punisher. The Punisher game by Konami.
Yeah, and that was a Capcom game.
Was it Capcom?
Yeah, it was Capcom.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. So that was my first. I mean, this is even before watching the Spider-Man cartoon. It was my first time seeing Kingpin and of course
probably Nick Fury, because he was
Nick Fury, Frank Castle. I was just like, is this really called the Punisher? Yeah, it's called the Punisher. So, but yeah, the arcade games really got me. Besides the Fox Kids shows, was what got kind of was my gateway into Marvel. Like, I didn't know who the Avengers were until I played, Captain America and the Avengers. That was another big one. That was another big cabinet that was, I always played whenever I had my birthday parties at Little Caesar Land, believe it or not. Remember when Little Caesars and McDonald's had these play parks inside, and you could crawl around, and then I can't imagine doing that now. Like I think my developed claustrophobia would just freaking drive me nuts. But back then I was able to climb, go in there. I used to hate going to the ball pit. There was always some stupid jerk kid that always threw the ball, always hit me in the nose, and then I got a nosebleed as a result of the ball pit.
Our McDonald's actually had a party room with a carousel in it.
Carousel.
Yeah, so like every McDonald's was like different back then. I don't know if it was a result of like them being like franchised or what, but like birthday parties at McDonald's were a regular thing. And I remember I was talking to my youngest cousin. My youngest cousin is she's 19 and she was younger at the time. So I'm 41, about to be 41.
You're younger than me. I just turned 41.
No, right on. Yeah, I'll be 41 next month.
Okay. Oh man.
And yeah. So my youngest cousin, like we were talking about like birthday parties. She's like, well, did you have all your birthday parties at the ball? And I was like, no, sometimes we did like the McDonald's birthday party. She's like, wow, you really were poor. And I was like, well, you got to understand that like back in the day, McDonald's birthday parties weren't like you go to McDonald's and it's a pity party. They actually had like a party room, and sometimes Ronald would be there. And
really,
yeah, depending on where you were. And
I never had a birthday at McDonald's. I never knew anyone that had a birthday at McDonald's, believe it or not. But I did used to whenever like when I wasn't too old, when I was still like 10 or 11, I would still go and play into the ball pit or whatever if my folks my folks allowed it or something, if they weren't in a hurry to go grocery shopping or whatever. So but
I didn't have the luxury of going in the ball pit at an older age because our Chuck E. Cheese, the one Chuck E. Cheese we had, was on the outskirts of Baltimore. And
they have all the animatronics.
They had all the animatronics, and it was great. It wasn't until later there was a Chuck E. Cheese that opened up in Annapolis, Maryland, and that was kind of funny because one of my best friends, that was his first job, so I got to step foot in the Chuck E. Cheese in the. When did he work there? He worked there in like 2003 because he got arrested during senior week for the stupidest thing, and he needed to pick up a job. But before I jump to that story, I'll talk about like why we stopped going to Chuck E. Cheese. So like one of the guys that was in costume as Chucky was in a gang.
Yeah,
he was like working. He was like in a gang, but he was working at the Chuck E. Cheese, and he was in costume one day, and a rival gang member stabbed him in the hand while he was in the costume, and it was like, yeah, we're never going to that Chuck E. Cheese again.
Oh no.
In front of kids too. It was mad.
Wow.
But of course I was like 10, 11 years old when it happened. I was at an age where I was like, Chucky got stabbed. No, it's serious.
Wow.
You can't go there anymore.
That's wild. You said this was in Annapolis?
No, that was in like Glen Burnie, Maryland. So it was like on the outskirts of Baltimore. So it's like a hop, skip, and a jump from the city. I mean,
the outskirts of Baltimore. Okay.
Yeah.
Baltimore. All right.
Yeah. It's like if you ever listen to
the city from The Wire. Yeah. The
Wire. Yeah. It's a rough area. It's a really rough area, man.
Yeah. That's where the game is played all over, but that's where the game is.
Yeah. Like if you go to like the Pratt Street area, it's fine. Like it's funny. Do you know who Stavros Halkias is?
No.
So he's a comedian. He's a big up and coming comedian. He's from the area. Funny enough, he's actually like one of my wife's childhood friends, which is kind of crazy because I remember talking about him one day, and she's like, "You're talking about Stavros?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Stavros Halkias?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Can you show me a picture of him?" And I was like, "She's like, I grew up with this guy." She's from. My wife's Greek and Italian, and she grew her the Halkias family was friends with her mom's family, so they all kind of like grew up together. And her yaya knew him and babysat for him and everything. But it's kind of funny because like I only bring him up because he's like talking about like, yeah, I come back to Baltimore and it's safe. It's like, yeah, because you have money, dude. If you go into Baltimore on your own and you're acting anything like a tourist, if you're not like, hey, I'm broke, or you're really good at blending in, chances are you're gonna get fucked up if you're in the wrong. I like to describe Baltimore as like reverse Swiss cheese, because there's like, in any city elsewhere, there's pockets of it that are good. So there's pockets of it that are bad. In Baltimore, the whole thing's bad. You have to find the pockets that are good. It's so bad that I went to a work event this past November, and as much as like the company will tell the public, yeah, we're supporting the city, it's growing, the employees, they're like, yeah, you don't travel anywhere in the city unless you take a shuttle with us. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm from the area, and they're like, no, you don't travel anywhere unless you take one of our shuttles. Like we're like, they like completely mother henned us. I was like, holy shit!
Wow. I guess they don't want you ending up on those corners where
Well, they had an executive like get mugged. Like at one of the previous all hands, they were like, after that, really? They're like, yeah, shit's real, but we're gonna tell everybody, we're gonna tell the public that it's a great city and you should come here.
Wow.
And support it. But to go to like when my friend was working at the Chuck E. Cheese in Annapolis, it was funny. He got senior week 2003. He wasn't drunk or anything. Somebody left a putter outside one of the putt places in Ocean City, Maryland. And he just picked it up and started twirling it like a cane. And like some cop just like was like, where'd you get that from? And he was like, it was against the fence. And they're like, you stole it. And he's like, well, I'll give it back. And they're like, no. And they frisked him and they found that he won a fake police badge from an arcade. And they're like, are you impersonating an officer? And he's like, no, I won that arcade. They brought in the fucking paddy wagon and threw him in there. And this was before cell phones. So we're like, what do we do? They got Alex.
Oh no! Oh my God!
Yeah, so the poor guy had to.
I have been. I mean, my friends and I, my friend group that I brought up earlier. I mean, nothing like that. Nothing like that. But I have been harassed by police when I was, that probably that same year, 2003. We would hang out at the restaurant, get coffee, drink coffee at like 11 p.m. at night, because that's what I mean. That's what high school. That's what teenagers do. Yeah. It was a 24/7 diner. It was called Big Top. It's a shame it's no longer open. But right afterwards, a few blocks away, we would go to the nearby park, and we would just kind of just chill. We would just chill there, and
we had that happen too. And sometimes you go into the park, and then you come back to where you were parked in the park, and there'd be like a cop there.
Yeah,
what are you doing here?
So yeah, that happened. Like we would be standing around. Now this wouldn't happen every time, but we'd be standing around just like talking, and we would just we'd be talking while like standing on the teeter-totter. My buddy and I, we'd be going up and down like that. And all of a sudden, like, policemen would just come and say, what are you doing here? And then there were a few times where I got patted down. I was never a troublemaker. My homeroom teacher in high school called me a low maintenance.
That's
because
like what my friend.
I was one of the good ones in high school. I went to a Chicago public high school where there was a lot of troublemakers.
I'm sure it was a lot like the Baltimore area stuff.
Probably a lot of kids came in from like different parts of the city at the time. So especially from the west side of the city, the west side of Chicago and the south side of Chicago. So yeah. So I mean, my school wasn't too bad though, because there was a lot of neighborhood kids as well. But you know what I mean. So but I'm getting patted down. I'm getting patted down by police, and they're like, and they're trying to accuse us of having like weed or something. Like,
they did that to us too. They busted into my buddy's Geo Metro one time, and they're like, "Why'd you leave your car unlocked?" And he's like, "I didn't," and he really didn't.
It's wild. And then years later, I'm going on a road trip. I'm going on a road trip with a different friend group. This time, this is right after I graduated college. and we went all the way to California. We drove all the way to California. We were on our way back. We were in the Reno area where we got pulled over by a state police officer. And I'm driving my friend's car. He didn't feel like driving, so I was driving his car. And he made me get out of the car, and sit on the hood of his car, and he tried to question me on where the weed was. I'm like, what weed? I've never done a drug in my life, and I just said, no, I don't know what you mean. And then he went to my friend, the owner of the car, and he's like, hey, he tells my friend that I ratted him out about the weed. And my friend's like, what the fuck are you talking? Well, he didn't say that. But he's like, what the? He's like, no, that we don't have any weed in this car.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just, it kind of opened my eyes about the nature of the police. So, but yeah, you bringing up that story. You bringing up that story made me remember these couple incidents. So
I that once I've really bad seasonal allergies. I was driving to Target like right after I was like able to drive, and I was going there for some Xbox game. I got pulled over by a cop, and I had bloodshot eyes. He's like, "Oh, you've been hitting the bong there?" I was like, "No."
Shit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So. But to get back to like when he worked at Chuck E. Cheese is a lot more innocent, and going back to like those music commercials, like I've been like looking for this lost internet shit because they used to have these music parodies at Chuck E. Cheese. I remember going there and visiting him while he's working, waiting for him to get off, because we used to go to we would see like 3 movies every week. And so because he was working there, we started going to the Annapolis movie theater. And I was like waiting for him to get off of his shift. So I came into the Chuck E. Cheese. He was like, yeah, it's fine, man. Just come on in. And I sat down at a table, and they're playing this Queen parody. I shit you not, it was Another One Bites the Crust. And I've just
another one bites the crust.
And I was like, this is like the fucking worst thing ever. But I want a copy of it. And it was like that animatronic band, like they. Yeah, like the animatronics weren't always going, but they had like TVs, like they had like CRT TVs, just like mounted up still, and they would like play like music videos, and they had like the in costume people like doing this parody of Queen, and Chucky was dressed up like Freddie Mercury, and I was like,
no,
someone, if anybody knows where to get this, please let me know.
Oh. Another One Bites the. Oh my god, that doesn't sound right.
And so, like, I remember him like working there. He's like, this is terrible. Like, he almost died on the job like 3 times because his boss like was like the real life Homer Simpson. Like one time, a rivet came out of a trash can, so
really
the boss decided to fix it himself, and the rivet like ricocheted.
Oh no!
Off of the trash can. Hit the pizza oven and like grazed his forehead, and he's like, I could have died at Chuck E. Cheese. And then
that's crazy.
And then another time, like the lady in the kitchen like didn't tell him she mopped, so he walked in and he slid across the floor and almost went into the open oven. And
that's like you just what's funny is you just tweeted about Marv, about Daniel Stern, and you got me thinking about Daniel Stern slipping in Home Alone 2 and just sliding right into the shelf with all the paint cans.
The fucked part is like Final Destination 2 just came out, and we just like watched it in the theaters, and he's like, this is gonna be my Final Destination, all because I stole a putter.
All because, oh man, that's wild.
And like he told me like the last thing on this Chuck E. Cheese is he's like, yeah, so one of the saddest things about working at Chuck E. Cheese is they try to convince you it's a career. I mean, any low-level restaurant or retail job always tries to do that. Yeah. I mean, it just kind of is what it is. But they like when I worked at Office Depot around that time, and they were just like, aren't you, why don't you have any stake in your career? I'm like, because I don't see myself doing this for the rest of my life. I'm in school.
Did you say steak? Sorry.
No. I'll tell you what, don't get me to go off on a tangent about a good steak. But
Yeah, I've never really watched. I mean, I've seen an episode here and there of King of the Hill.
oh, you gotta watch it.
Yeah,
Like first season's a little rough around the edges, but it picks up. But
I mean, it's Mike Judge, right?
it's Mike Judge, yeah.
Yeah, I like.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. You're gonna laugh at me because this is '90s retro, and I never seen Beavis and Butthead.
Beavis and Butthead
As on
is
TV.
again, it's first few seasons are a little rough, but like after it hits its stride, it's really good. The problem is Viacom lost a lot of the licenses to like them riffing on the music videos, and that was literally half the show. So
Interesting.
yeah, it's a little challenging to like get that. And then also, if you never watched MTV growing up, then a lot of it's going to be lost to you. Now, the Beavis and Butthead revival, you could pick up there, and it's fine. It's like 2 timelines because they did that second movie, and they have the teenage Beavis and Butthead going into present day, so they're fish out of water, and then they have what if Beavis and Butthead grew up,
Yeah.
and they're Gen Xers, still as dumb as ever.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, that's
but
funny.
to wrap up my Chuck E. Cheese story, he's like, dude, the saddest thing is he's like, they told him if you work here for 25 years, your reward is a 25-inch TV.
Wow, that's
in 2003. I mean, that was kind of a a 25-inch TV. That's decent. But if only they knew, like, somebody working there, in the year 2000 stuck with it. They just got their crappy insignia TV that cost the company next to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Chuck E. Cheese played the long game.
Yeah. 2025, you get a 25-inch TV. Wow. That's a hell of a reward. I mean, compared to this piece of crap that I have in back of me right now. So, yeah.
Still probably better than what Chuck E. Cheese is handing out. Do you think they're... I'll
probably get it too. I never really worked. I never worked at a Chuck E. Cheese or anything. Or I've only worked with food. I worked at a nursing home. That's the only time I worked with food was serving the elderly, basically. So, but that's not important right now. So, but yeah, I'm actually getting really tired. So we have to continue this. So, Extrazero, I have something I gotta tell you. I am your father's brothers, cousins, nephews, former roommate. So you know what that makes us?
Absolutely nothing.
Absolute nothing. So we have to continue this. So we didn't cover everything. So I think for next time, what should we cover next time? Well, we didn't cover what was in the thumbnail for starters. We talked a little bit about we didn't talk about the console war, the Sega. We did bring up Super Nintendo and Sega a little bit, but we didn't really talk about the.
Well, you could reuse the thumbnail to make it a part 2.
We could, or Eric can make my buddy Dread Roberts kind of maybe upgraded a little bit, so we could do that. We didn't talk about TGIF. That's another thing that was a big part of the 90s, and I mean, that's how I saw Sad AM originally. Was they showed a preview of it? I think because it was Jaleel White was the voice of Sonic.
Yeah.
They had the Family Matters actors kind of doing like a preview for it or something. So we got to talk about them. There's more. I think we have to continue our Beast Wars conversation too.
Yeah. So. And to go on TGIF, I was at Steel City Con this past month, and they had there were a lot of Full House fans there. So a lot of people.
I keep forgetting Full House was part of TGIF. It was early TGIF though.
Yeah, it was part of early TGIF, and then it became their big, I guess, primetime show. I guess was they moved it to Fridays. They moved it to Thursdays. I think I can't remember.
They moved it to Tuesdays
because it was one with dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs. Yeah, that's the one. that's the one I think that got me. That sold my 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old me. Well, maybe not 10-year-old, eight. Yeah, that roughly that age. That's what got me to keep coming back every Friday for TGF, because I didn't really go out and play with friends. So I was home. So, and that was the one Friday was the one day my parents would let me stay up past 8 o'clock. So I'd be up till 9 o'clock, watch all TGIF, and then heck, sometimes I even watch 2020. I don't know about you, but I sometimes Barbara Walters and Hugh Downs would be hosting something. I would watch it with my mom or my dad or something like that. So yeah. So but yeah, man, thanks for doing this. This was
thanks for having me on.
great,
Yeah, we'll
stream.
definitely
got
pick that back up.
to connect, and we got to dunk on someone who calls himself AC. I don't think he exists.
Atlantic City. Is that what it is?
Yeah, Atlantic City. That's what it is. That's what it is. Where the boardwalk is, where or if you've seen It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, what happens under the boardwalk? Two homeless men committing sodomy. If you've seen something in Philadelphia,
I have not. That's a show I need to watch in full.
They're like, oh, magic stuff happens under the boardwalk, and they go under the boardwalk and they see that, and you see ass. You see a man's ass. So it was it's so funny. Yeah. So, sir, you got anything you want to promote? You got anything going on with your channel? What's going on with you?
Yeah. So my show comes back on Tuesday. So I've been on hiatus. So if you're looking for any of the Transformers news or discussions, I'll be back this Tuesday. I have I have to figure out when I'm going to film and upload my top 10 of 2025. I've got a video that I'm cooking up for. I could probably just put my link tree in the chat here. That would probably be the easiest thing to do. It's over on my Twitter account as well. But I've got so I'm the editor for Mr. Mazza, and I've got a video that I'm editing for him. I'm putting the final bits of that edit up. So he's going to have a video up on his channel, hopefully tomorrow night, if not early our Sunday. So there's my link tree. Gronk and Gaming returns on Sunday. So that's where Lethal Lightning, Mazza, Creamnado, myself, John Connors, sometimes John Graham, and sometimes Blabs. We come in and we do our gaming news podcast. And boy, oh boy, do we have a lot of news to talk about. Then this coming Tuesday, as I mentioned, I'll be wouldn't let me post it, but I'll put it in private. Maybe they'll.
No, I already put it on.
Oh, you got it? Okay, good.
I got it.
Yep. So then, I'll be back to do my channel on Tuesday, and just getting back into the swing of 2026 before I have to take a hiatus, because my daughter will be here before I know it.
Oh.
So, but
yeah, like newborn. Oh my gosh! Congratulations.
Yeah, she's actually due the day after my birthday, so she's due February 13th.
Oh, okay.
So I'll be spending my 41st birthday in the hospital, more than likely, if she's not here sooner or if she doesn't choose to be stubborn.
Oh.
So,
all right. Well, congratulations once again.
Thank you.
So, all right. But yeah, for me, so this is going to be a first of a string of Chillporeals. So, I do want to do a video. I've been meaning to do more videos. Oh, yeah, another thing we forgot to talk about, so that we have to save for next time, is my feelings on Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Yeah.
So yeah, stay tuned for that. But yeah, next week's Chillporeal is going to be a little more political. My buddy that I had on last time, Tom Foe, is going to be back on, and we kind of got carried away. We were talking about stuff we both liked. So instead of talking about politics and Gen Z stuff, we talked about KOTOR, and we talked about KOTOR, we talked about anime. So yeah, we kind of got lost in the sauce there. So it was a fun stream. So definitely check out the replay if you haven't. And so that'll be next time. And then one after that, I'm going to have my buddy Feanor back on. Instead of talking Lord of the Rings, we're probably going to be talking Clint Eastwood stuff. So You know, when a man chases a woman with a butcher knife and a heart on, I shoot the bastard. That's my policy. All right, or maybe I'm quoting Frank Drebin.
Or maybe Casey Jones from Ninja Turtles.
Did he do that? I have to rewatch classic OG Ninja Turtles. I saw that in the theater when I was 5.
Oh no, I'm talking about the cartoon version of Casey Jones. Sounded like it was a bad Clint Eastwood.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I'll have to rewatch that.
Yeah.
I haven't watched an episode with the animated Casey Jones. Every time I think animated show, I think Shredder is Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, basically. And I think there's a few other actors. I forget who's who. And it's but yeah, that's
yeah, it was James Avery was Shredder.
James Avery was Shredder. May he rest in peace. But yeah, that's and I hopefully we'll have another one at the end of the month. I know me and Adam RNG podcast. We're supposed to do something this month. I'm trying to get back to him because I'm waiting for someone to get back to me on doing a podcast on the last week of January. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, me and him are supposed to do something on. We're supposed to react to a Donkey Kong video. So so stay tuned for that. So, but yeah, man. I don't really have a great outro. I've been using the same outro for a while, but I think you would appreciate it. So, all right, everybody, take care, stay safe, don't do anything stupid, and well, stay Chillporeal.